Hey guys, I'm Nido King, and we're back for more Lost in Time. In our last episode, a bunch of stuff happened, but since this is a flashback, it hasn't actually happened yet, and has no bearing on the story. So let's just completely forget about it. Our heroine Doralice has inherited the manor de la Prunelière, and this horse out front, which happens to be blocking the gate. Guess we're gonna have to see if we can get rid of that horse so we can get inside. Maybe the engine of this tractor will make enough noise to drive it off. Let's see, how do we start this oh, the battery's sitting on the floor. Let's see, what should we do with it? Put in our inventory with everything else. There's a toolbox sitting on the seat. Always have to check those. We get an empty pack of cigarettes, which of course is going to be important. And we check it a second time. Hey, look at that! It's a very familiar looking small pipe. I remember that from the beginning of the game. That's everything we get out of the toolbox, so must be this basket on the roof. Someone won't have apple pie this evening. Yeah, because you took the whole basket and you only need one apple. Alright, well the horse is gone. I don't know where we led it to, but we can finally get to the gate. And that's actually kind of clever. Putting a dartboard on the gate so people can attach notes to it. Let's see. Something is wrong. Someone has locked the gate. Guess that's going to be a puzzle. The smuggler is using the house to hide his loot. I'm going to get the police. So, of course, her immediate impression is, let's go inside and confront the smuggler. I am armed with a dart! Which, of course, means that no one can put notes on the gate anymore, but who cares about that? Let's see. So we haven't met a lock we can't open. Oh, hey, this pack isn't empty after all. It's got a matchbox and foil inside. Let's see, can we pick the lock with the dart? Nope. This is actually kind of brain-hurty. We use the small pipe to siphon battery acid. By mouth. That's right, siphoning battery acid by mouth. Kids, don't try this at home. And we finally get in. And of course, we'll just say that we love beautiful stones and shut up, seagull. Any intruders will naturally just leave us alone. Shut up, seagull! Checking this well. A lovely well. Let's see, normally in adventure games you climb down into the well and find something. No water from the faucet. She gathers that nobody paid the water bill, so let's just go inside the house and see what we can find. Alright, so we inherited a house that's falling apart. I don't know. Okay, we can't see much through that hole, so we'll look through the keyhole. The key is in the... Hey, wait a second, I know this puzzle from Zork 2! We put a sheet of paper under the door, and then we push something through the lock. Unfortunately, we don't have any paper, but if I stick the dart into the lock, then she'll say, oh no, I have to put a piece of paper under it. Right? What are you thinking, woman? Now the key is sitting on the floor. It's not on the paper, so you can't get it. Alright, so we'll have to find a way to get the key out without a piece of paper. I'll just grab this interesting looking portrait above the door. Her ancestor is a sailor, and of course the portrait comes along with a length of wire. I'm sure that's going to be important somehow, but for now let's just get out of here. And head to the backyard. Maybe there's another door. Oh, okay, so we got this strange building over here and an abandoned lighthouse. Let's check out the strange building first. Okay, doesn't look like there's any way to open this door. But there's a hole in the steps. Kinda hard to see. And it's just the same size and shape as this portrait, if I can find where I need to click it. Naturally, you hide the key to this building above the front door. And this is such a difficult puzzle, I don't even know what to do. Just subtract, we get 35 years old. Push the button. And the elevator comes up. I mean, why not? What kind of security system doesn't have the combination sitting there staring you in the face? Because nobody does math. Let's get to the bottom of this. The elevator's broken. It managed to rise up the shaft when I put in the combination, but now it's broken. Alright, fine. To the lighthouse! By Virginia Woolf. Let's see what's in here. Another locked door. Of course. So, around to the side of the building. Oh, hey. Free inventory items. I'd better leave that for someone else, she says as she puts the vinegar in her pocket. And we've got a barrel with a cork jammed in the hole. Too heavy to move. So, obviously we just need to use the dart to pop the cork out, get the contents out of the barrel, and then we'll be able to move it. That's where all the rum went! And we can now take the barrel with us and cram it in a pocket. Let's get a look inside this window. There's something behind it. Maybe we can break it with the door handle. Nope. We actually need a specific item to break this window, so we'll have to go find it and come back. But we won't have to go very far, because we now have everything that we need, believe it or not, to get into the main house. And this is the puzzle that just made me throw up my hands in frustration and say, this game makes no sense. Even though it's completely unrelated to the plot. So the key is sitting right in front of that crack under the door. What we need to do is take our bottle of vinegar, you know this is going to be fun, and pour it into the battery which we completely drained of acid. Yes, that's right, vinegar is apparently the same as battery acid. I'm pretty sure batteries don't work that way. But now we take the wire that the portrait was hanging from and wrap it around the metal door handle. And the captions pretty much give it all away. Now we just attach this coil of wire to the terminals of the battery, manage not to electrocute ourselves in the process, and make an electromagnet, which is strong enough to pull the key all the way under the door. She's proud of herself. I don't know why. Especially since, having done all that, she just throws all those materials away. So here we are in the manor, and I see a couple of items that are ripe for the taking. Always gotta have an ore. And the recess that it was in sounds hollow. Might be a secret passage or something. This rod, of course, is apparently heavier than a barrel. We can't take it with us. We've got a fire extinguisher sitting on top of a trunk here. Now there is a fire. No, there's not. When you look over here in the chimney, there's no fire there. But first, what's in the trunk? It's not locked, because it's full of sand. A whole trunk full of sand. Beautiful. And in the chimney itself, hasn't been used for a long time. We do get a roasting spit, though, which is the counterpart to polish in the cute... Wait, wrong game. The important thing here is this metal disc over on the side of the fireplace. Now, why would somebody put a metal disc inside a fireplace? What if we take this rod and stick it in the fireplace near the disc? It's not nearly long enough to reach both sides. But of course, every fan of Evangelion knows about thermal expansion. So what we need to do is heat up the rod by starting a fire in the fireplace, and then it'll touch both of the metal contacts, because metal expands that much. Let's check out what's in this box secured by copper wire. Which, of course, we're going to take with us, because we already used up our last length of wire on an electromagnet. And we'll get some resin, always useful for repairing the hulls of ships, which is certainly something we're going to have to do at some point, I'm sure. And a damaged fuse. Alright, time for home repair tip number 2. If pouring battery acid into a lock doesn't work, just rip the foil out of a pack of cigarettes and use that to secure the fuse in place. Don't try this at home either. This is adventure game logic at its finest, but we've repaired the fuses, and so something electrical should be working now. Something which hasn't suddenly come to life recently and, say, risen to the top of an elevator shaft but not gone back down. I mean, it is called a lift, not a lift and drop, so we can't very well get the lift mechanic out to take a look at it. Alright, enough obscure references. The elevator's working now. Let's just go down into the vault. So we've got this opening over here, located at ground level, with a nice view of the well. And bottles. Which we can't reach. So the obvious solution would be to stand on something, and for once, adventure game logic makes sense in real life as well. Look at how easy that was. Now we get a bottle of cider, which is completely irrelevant. But meanwhile, there's one thing in this room that stands out. Yeah, I don't care how the trunk got here, I want to open it. Oh, it's impossible to open. At least, unless we find out the combination, which appears to be a combination of symbols. Well, I thought it was 3 green nooses, but I guess not. There's also a bottle hidden way up at the top of that shelf there. It's tricky to see, let alone figure out how to get it. But we've still got our barrel. Oh, come on, just jump and knock it off the rafter. No, actually what we have to do is cleverly shoot the cork out of our bottle of cider so hard that it knocks the bottle off the rafter. Yeah, that's the solution to a puzzle. And the cork flies out through the opening. Unlocking your brain is the least of your problems, but it would definitely be a good first step. And as for the cork, it's somewhere out in the front yard. And we can't get another one from another bottle because they're all empty. No, I'm afraid that if we're going to get a cork, we need the specific cork that we shot out of our bottle just now. And not, say, the one that we pulled out of the barrel at the very beginning. And take a guess where that cork landed. Come on, take a guess. Yep, the cork is at the bottom of the well. Now, of course, this is an easy puzzle. All we have to do is get the water flowing so that we can fill up the well and the cork will just float to the top. Easier said than done, I'm sure. But in all that moving around, we did at least get an item that we can use to break this basement window. And there's a hose. So all we need now is to turn on the water. What flowers? Anyway, we can't crawl in through the window, possibly because of those pieces of glass that fell inside. Or it might just be too small and Doralice needs to lose some weight. But we can get this door open now, and this is another one of those really tricky puzzles. We take the hose that we just found and loop it around the door handle. Now all we need is something to pull it with a lot of force. Well, we're going to find that over in this direction. I didn't bother to look at it before, but there's a steel railing attached to the inside of the elevator. Yeah, the inside of the elevator. That's a good place to tie the hose. And all we got to do is press the button on the control panel from outside. Bingo! Although I honestly don't know how that worked. But that ruined our hose. And we can push the portrait to get the elevator to come back up, but I'm more interested in what's inside the lighthouse now. And somebody left a shoe on the staircase. A wooden shoe. Cinderella wore glass slippers. What does that mean? Well, the shoe isn't as important as the key that for some reason is sitting right inside it. I don't even want to touch that line. And here we are at the sea. There's a boat over there on the far side of the steel gate. No idea how we're going to get that open. The important part here is the valve up there, which naturally turns on the water back at the front yard. So let's go check it out. And now I get to hear the lovely sounds of the sea, no matter where I go. Unless that's meant to be the sound of water flowing through the pipes, like in Mist. Yep, what do you know, the water's still flowing. And we can't get close to the spigot, so we gotta look at the well again. And just to make sure. Yep. Her shoes are getting all kinds of stuff on them. Well, even if the hose is leaking, we should at least be able to get some water through it, enough to fill up a bottomless well. Nope, the hose is torn, it's going to leak. So we're going to have to fix the hose in order to get the only cork in existence. I think I'd feel better leaving that for next time, because my brain is about to explode. Also, we'll explore the lighthouse and get to the bottom of all the mysteries surrounding this manor. See you guys then.